Thank you for coming. Well, my name is Elisa Scaliti. I'm the Leo for incoming, and today we are going to present our country. Thank you all for being here, and we hope you like the presentation about Peru. So, first of all, I'm going to present all of the speakers and also the news, so maybe you can know them. And okay, that's it. So we can start. If you have questions, you can type on the chat, or you can yes, you can type in the chat just to answer the question. Okay. So as we said, I'm the Leo for incomings of the local committee SOCEMURP in the NMO IFMSA Peru. Next slide, please. And we are presenting like as with our local team. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. So here you can see we are going to talk. 5 persons are going to talk today. Me, also the other Leo, the Leo for outgoing, which is Elisa Sarmiento. Then we have Maria Oviedo. Then we have Andres Paul. And finally, Carlos Noriega. So we are a local team of DLC SOCEMURP. And then the next slide, please. I want to introduce you also the NEOs. Here we have the NEO for incoming, who is Daniel Sevilla, and the NEO for outgoing, and who is Frank Calderon. Maybe Daniel, if you want to tell something, please.
Sure. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure for me being here with you. My name is Daniel Sevilla, and I will be the NEO-in of IFMSA Peru for the term 2021-2022. I hope you like this activity organized by SOCEMURP a lot, and I hope can have you as incomings very soon. Our country is very beautiful, so we look forward to seeing you soon. It's a pleasure.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. And okay, unfortunately, Frank is not here, but Daniel is representing both of them. So, okay. So now, after all the presentation, we can start about talking about our country. Please, next slide. Okay, first, do you know where is Peru located? The next slide, please. Maybe someone who won't participate or type the answer. And if you don't know, it's okay. Hi, Turan. Well, talking about the geography, we are located in South American continent, and we share borders with Ecuador, Colombia, Brazil, Bolivia, and Chile, as you can see here in the map. Also, we are facing the Pacific Ocean, and the nearest 2,000 miles coast are called Mar Peruano or Peruvian Sea or Mar de Grau. But in ISMSA, we are located in the American regions, and the name of our NMOs is IFMSA Peru. Our country, it has a huge multiplicity of landscape due to geographical condition, and it also gives a great diversity of natural resources. The next slide, please. In our territory, we can identify 3 regions, the coast, the mountains, and the jungle. In Spanish, the the costa, sierra, y selva. Here you can see we have the percentage about how much the territory belongs in which region, and how many people, or the percentage, how many people live there. So maybe we can see the coast is this part in yellow. And you can see that the coast is the 11% of the territory, but is the highest concentration of the population here in Peru. So the 52% of Peruvian people lives there in the coast. We have in the coast, we have all the year is sunny, but it's like always summer in the north of the coast. And then in the center and south, we have the temperature is more temperate, but with a high humidity. Then we have the Sierra, or the mountains. And here we have, it's the 30% of the territory, and 36% of the population lives there. The climate is more polarized. Maybe we have only 2 seasons, which are summer and winter. And here we can find the the range of Andes, la cordillera de los Andes, and the highest peak of our country, which is Nevado Huascarán. Then we have the jungle, or selva, is the majority of our country, but there lives only the 12% of the population, and it's a tropical climate, and it's very rainy there. The next slide, please. So I'm going to talk more about these regions. Okay, the coast. Next. So the coast is a narrow plain, is largely and very arid, and we can find also desert. The coast has a warm temperature without extreme cold or suffocating heat. But as I've said before, we have a high humidity and dense fogs that produce an intense sensation of cold in winter. In summer, the temperature is around 30 degrees. Well, in the northeast part of the coast, we have the temperature are highest, and between the month of November and December is a period of rain. Some cities that we can find in the coast are Lima, which is the capital. Also Callao, where we can find the airport. Then other cities could be Piura, Trujillo, Chiclayo, Chimbote, or Ica. So you can see some pictures here, some videos. They 1 minute, they are loading. Here is the coast. Here, the second is the green coast here in Lima. So it's in our city. And then the last one is an oasis in a desert, which is called Huacachina, but we're going to talk about it later. So don't worry. But it's very beautiful because in the middle of the desert, we have this oasis. Please, one moment. We are going to present again because we have some problem with the presentation. Please wait.
Is it just me or I thought the sound wasn't coming?
No, it's because we had some problem with the presentation. So we're going to start again. Okay, so we can see the videos. So this is our Peruvian Sea, which is the Pacific Ocean, but the 2,000 miles are called Peruvian Sea. Okay, so this is the green coast and the oasis in the middle of the desert, the Huacachina. Okay, next slide, please. Then we have the next region, which is the mountains or Sierra in Spanish, and it's the region of the Andes. Next slide, please. As we can see here, well, we have the highest peak of the country, which is the Nevado Huascarán. Here, the Andes Mountains dominate the landscape when you visit that places. In the Northeast Andes, there are more humidity, and in the central, they are the highest and steepest. And then we have in the Sierra or the mountains only 2 seasons, summer and winter. In the summer are between the months April to October with sunny days, but at night it's very cold. And it's the perfect time to visit the places because winter is between November and March, and it's very rainy also. And during the night, the temperature can drop until 3 degrees. Some cities that you can visit there are Arequipa or Cusco, Puno, Huaraz. No? We can see the Machu Picchu. Also Huaraz, and I think there is some Las Salinas de Maras, no? Okay, next slide, please. And the last region, the third region, is the jungle. Next slide, please. Here in the jungle is all covered by the Amazon rainforest, and it's almost the 60% of the country's area is located in this region. well, it's the largest region in our territory. And like the Sierra, the jungle has only two well-marked seasons. The months of November to March are rainy months. And between April and October, there are a few rains, and it's the perfect time when you can travel and visit that places. Also, the humidity is very high through all the year. And some cities that you can visit there are Iquitos or Jaén, Tarapoto, Yurimaguas, Oxapampa, etc. Here in the jungle, we have a lot of like national parks where you can visit, and also like the photos, you can visit them with boats. So it's like this. Also, you can spend time with the animals. Okay, I think that is all about this. So the next slide, please. After all this part of a general view about our geography, we are going to talk more about our city, which is Lima, the capital. So here in Lima, you can see it's a city. It's not in the country. So we have a lot of buildings and places where you can spend time and visit. We are located in the coast, so we have beaches here. Next slide, please. The next slide, please. Okay, and here we have a map of the LC that you can find or that are active in our NMO. And here is in blue is Huacho Lima, and here we have SOCEMURP. Thank you. Here we have SOCEMURP. That is our LC, but so as you can see, we're located here in the coast of our country. Maybe, I don't know, I think that the need for outgoing is here. So Frank, we already had introduced Daniel. So maybe if you want to say some words for our participant, if you are here.
Yeah, of course. Do you see me? Hello, everyone. My name is Frank, and the new out for the next term. I hope that all of you want to visit us, especially after the presentation. So we will wait for all of you here in Peru. Well, nice to meet you, all of you. Well,
thank you, Frank. So after that, we can continue with the presentation. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, and about our LC, we are the University of the Palma, and our LC is called SOCEMURP. We are located in the Surco district, which is, I think that in the center of Lima, and near our university, we have some hospital, which are Maria Auxiliadora, also I'm remembering the other name of the hospital. Well, another hospital is very near at the university. Then near you can visit the Park Kennedy is also an attractive place where tourists like visit here in Lima. So this is our university. The next slide, please. And a little more about our LC and our members. So we are SOCEMURP. We are like a family. So if you come here, you will have a experimenting that feeling about a family. It was better with the when all the activity were present, but now with COVID-19 is a very difficult time here. So next slide, please. So I'm going to show some activity that you can do if you come here. So we have a different kind of activity. So we like to go with the population or the general public to explain them or do social work, educate them. Also with the SCOME committee, the medical education, we are always, we keep working with our members or our students, medical students, and improve their medical knowledge. Next slide, please. Then we also have work with hospitals as clown. We can see some pictures. Also for the blood donation. And also visiting people at hospital, maybe suffering that they are suffering maybe some disease like cancer or chronic disease. We are bringing happiness and hope. And also we have another picture here with a lot of our members and like being a family as always. So next slide, please. And the pandemic has not stopped us. So maybe if you come, we can have some activity with others committees. Like we have some picture about the surgical techniques with the SCOME committee. And also about with other committees about health system, or maybe we can have presentation about our most important disease in our country, etc. So next slide, please. And now some of the exchange conditions to just finish my part because it was very, very long. So here, the language to come are is required no Spanish or English, because most of the population only speaks Spanish. But if you only some of the LC receives student that knows English, but if you know English, it's okay. but better Spanish, because you also have to talk with the population, the patient, maybe do some exams, and it would better for understanding them to know some word in Spanish. So for the loading, always we receive students in a host family, and we have social program, and it's like monthly, and it depends from the LC or is depend from the region. For example, as you said, you saw that in Lima there are many LC. So we try to organize a social program between all the LC in that month. So for let the incomings know each other. because we receive a lot of incomings like in a different LC during a month. So we can form a big group and do a better social program. And then some things that that you need to have for doing an exchange here is that the TBC test, HIV or ADS test is required, and also the vaccination card. In the vaccination card, you need to have hepatitis B, influenza, yellow fever if you want to visit the jungle, tetanus, diphtheria, also polio, pertussis, and varicella. And now is required also the test for SARS-CoV-2, the X-ray, and the insurance, because we request the health insurance and liability insurance. That I think that is that's all important about our exchange conditions. So if you have question about it, you can ask me through the chat, or you can see in the exchange platform. And also, I think that is all about it. So next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Now is the time of the next speaker. If you have questions, type it on the chat.
Well, guys, I think that I can continue. So, well, hi, I'm Maria Alejandra, and I'm part of SOCEMURP. And now I'm going to talk about traditional Peruvian dances. Just to know that I just put in just a few dances because we have a lot of them. So I didn't want to board you. So that's why, yeah, thanks to that. And that's why I just put a little bit of some dances. And the one is Marinera. And just to summarize, this dance is an elegant dance representing courtship and love performed by two dancers. And also we have some variations in around the country. That's why I just put these two pictures. In the left one, we can see North Marinera, and here Marinera from Lima. And you can see slight variations, like the woman in here has high heels and here doesn't have shoes. Another difference is about the skirt that they have. It's not like a short skirt, but comparing with this, it's shorter. So that's one variation. And something that is characteristic of Marinera is the handkerchiefs that they always move with their hands. And now I have a video so you can see. You can hear the music?
Yes.
Okay. That was Marinera. I hope you like it. And it as I said before, it's an elegant dance and it's from the coast part of Peru. Another dance that is from the coast from Peru is festejo. And it's a joyful, festive rhythm representative of the Peruvian black mestizaje. Mestizaje is like the mix of black people. You can see that during the music they play some instruments or typical instruments like guitar and the cajon. I don't know if you know about this instrument, but in here it's common, especially in some type of music like Creole music, and that's all. And they also use the jobo. And if you see the performers, most of the part of the performance are Afro-Peruvian descendants, but it's not like a law that you always have to be Afro-Peruvian to dance this typical dance. But you will see that they all, the most of the performance are Afro-Peruvian. So now you will see the dance in here a little bit. Well, we can continue now. As you see, it's like an expression that they had for the slavery that they were living, especially in, we can see Afro-Peruvian descendants in Ica, and I will talk about later about Ica. Well, another dance, but it's not from the coast, it's from the Andes, is La Diablada, and it's original from the Altiplano region. And we share this dance with Bolivia. And it has this name because people dancing wears a devil's mask, and some costumes. As you can see, this is like an angel, and this is a demon. And it has a meaning that they put like a confrontation between the forces of good and evil, and at the end they go like the triumph of the angels over the demons. So that's how this dance is performed. Now you will see a video of how. Well, now as you can see, that's the Diablada. We have people wear devil's mask, and the other ones are like from the good ones, from the angels. Now we have a Huayno. It's from the Andes too, and it's the most. Okay. And it's the most popular dance in the Peruvian highlands. And this the people from this that dance this typical dance, they use traditional Indian clothing with bright and vibrant colors, and they have a meaning during this dance, and it's the infatuation and subtle wooing of the woman by the man. And they also dance for a disappointment or the suffering for the loss of a partner or a loved one. So you Well, that was the why, no? And now we will see about, we will talk about scissors dance. You will see what it is. In particular, I think that this is the most difficult dance to dance, and you have to prepare yourself a lot. It's like a heritage that from family to family they dance this typical dance. So they made acrobatics with a pair of scissors in one hand. While they are dancing, they are moving his hand with the scissor, and the sound that the scissor made is the same tempo of the rhythm of the music that he's dancing. So it's amazing, really. You will see that. The meaning of this dance is that the man who dance is like the mediator between Mother Earth, Andes, and the settlers, and they are the connection of the three of them. So well, as you can see, it's like a competition between the two of them, like who made the most acrobatic performance, and the people clapped because of they see that. So if you want to see more about these dances, you need to come to Peru, so you can learn more about that. About them. Now I'm going to talk about the tourist attractions. I think that that's what you most will like. Well, first of all, I'm going to talk about Lima. We have a historical center of Lima where you can visit Plaza de Armas, the cathedral, and San Francisco Church and Monastery. Just to let you know that we have been conquered. Well, we have been conquered by the Spanish people, so that's why we have some monuments from that areas, and that's why it's part of the history, and it's from the historical center of Lima, and some cities, they have the same Plaza de Armas. Just that. And curious fact is that this San Francisco Church and Monastery, and it was the Lima's first cemetery. So that's why people go there to see their catacombs that have 1,000 of bones, and people like that. I don't know why they like that. And in Lima, we have, as Elisa said, Miraflores. We have a malecón de Miraflores that is a jetty. So you can go there, walk, or maybe make some exercise. You can run, or you just can see the sunset. In that malecón, we have the Love Park, that it's a park, as the name says, is for love, because it have this monument. And in this part, you will see couples flirting. So in the Valentine's Day, this park has a lot of people in there. And another thing that you can see in Miraflores in the Malecón, it's Larcomar, that is a mall where there are restaurants and you can eat while you're seeing the sunset or the sea. In the center of Miraflores, we have the Huaca Piano, and it's adobe and clay bricks build that was built between AD 200 and AD 700. And because they found some typical things, they conclude that it was a ceremonial and administrative center. So you can go there if you want to. Another tourist attractions that we have in Lima is the Puente Los Espiros, or Bridge of Sighs, that it's in Barranco. And we have a song that was inspiring that in that bridge. And we also have the magic circuit of water, and you need to go in at night because they have lights from different color, as you can see here. And also we have Santo Domingo, that it's a church and a monastery. And it's I think, the ancient church and monastery that we have in Lima. And you will find the relics of Saint Rose of Lima, Saint Juan Macias, and Saint Martin de Porres, that was the first Black saint in the Americas. And Saint Rose of Lima was the first saint in Americas, I think. If I'm not wrong. In Lima, we also you can also visit Caral. And what is Caral? Is the most ancient civilization in the Americas. It's in the north part of Lima. It's in Supe, and you can go in a bus, and it will take you 4 hours to Barranca, and it will cost you $4 or $8 to go there, and then you can take a taxi to Caral, and it will cost you $1 or $2, and it will take you 10 minutes to go there. The ticket, you have to pay a ticket to enter to Caral, and it's $3. But if you don't want to go like this bus, then a taxi, you can also, from Lima to Caral, you just take a taxi, and it will cost you like $12 approximately to Caral directly. So you don't have to do this, but this, if you want to save some money, you can do this if you want. And another curious fact of Caral is that it was developed by in the same time as Mesopotamia, Egypt, and China. So you need to go there. Another part of Peru that you can go from Lima, that it's nearly Lima, and it's just like 3 hours far from Lima. It's Ica. We have Huacachina, Ballestas Island, and Nazca lines. If you want to go to the Lake Huacachina Conservation Area, you need to go first of all to Ica and then to Huacachina. Well, this Huacachina is an oasis that we have in Peru. It's the only oasis that we have in Latin America, and it's called like the Emerald Waters in the desert. And if you want to go to Ica, no, to Huacachina, you first of all have to take a bus to Ica that it will take you in time 4 hours, and you will spend the $10 to $15. Then from Ica to Huacachina, you can take a bus, a taxi, or a car that it will cost you $4 from $5, and it only takes you 9 minutes to go to Huacachina. In Huacachina, what can you do? It's you can sunboarding, you can be in the dunes, and also if you just want to relax yourself, you can have a boat ride. And if you like alcoholic drinks, you need to taste pisco sour, that is our emblematic drink of Peru. And you also, if you want to see the sea lions, you need to go to Ballestas Island, that is in Paracas. Paracas is in Ica, but it's far. It's not like the center of Ica, but it's Ica too. But if you want just to go to Ballestas Island, you can go from Lima to Paracas. That the bus will cost you like in Ica $10 or $15, and it will take you 3 hours. And from Paracas to Ballestas Island, you need to pay a ticket to enter, or for the boat that will ride you from these islands, that it will cost you from $3 or $4. And what can you do there? You can take picture of the sea lions that maybe they are sleeping or just swimming in the sea. Or while you're in the route that you're going to the Ballestas Islands, you can see the Paracas Candelabra, or in Spanish is Candelabro, and it's a geoglyph that you can see in the sun, like this. You will see it from here to here, so that you can see there. And about the Nazca's line, I think that everyone knows about this Nazca's line, but if you don't know, it's like a message for the heavens that you can see from the sky. So if you want to go to Nazca, you need to, well, from Lima, it's 7 hours to Nazca if you want to go directly. But if you want to visit the other parts of Ica, you can have like a full day from there and then go to Nazca, and it will be like less hours that you will spend from Ica to Nazca than to Lima to Nazca. It depends on what you want to do. And for Lima to Nazca, we have 7 hours, and if you will spend $20 to $24 in a bus. And if you want to fly over these Nazca lines, you will spend $100. But if you don't want to spend that amount of money, you can enter to the 13 meters high viewing tower that costs less than $2. So you can go there and see the lines. Obviously, maybe you will see some lines that are near that tower, but at least you see them. But to be honest, in the Nazca lines, when you fly over, maybe you won't see all the lines because some of the lines are more defined than others, but the experience is amazing, really. And some curious fact of these Nazca lines is that this geoglyph traced onto the surface of the desert measure up to 300 meters in length, and their message remain undeciphered. So no one knows what this geoglyph means, but it's something from our heritage that our ancestors gave us. Well, I know that most of you want to know about Cusco and how to travel there, especially Machu Picchu. I'm just going to talk about a little bit of them so you can know a little bit of the meaning of these places. About Machu Picchu, well, it's like historical century, as we know. The Sacred Valley, it's a land blazed by the sun where the Incas, as its name says, sacred. They think that it was sacred because of the sun. And Sacsayhuaman, that it's the name in Quechua, it means royal eagle because it was a fortress temple. Choqquequirao was the last refugee of the Incas, and the Seven Colors Mountain, it's something that in Peru we recently discovered from Cusco, so it's now an attractive place to go to Cusco. How can you go to Machu Picchu? You need to know this sequence so you can get lost. First of all, you need to fly to Cusco, and it will take you 1 hour 15 minutes. And I put the money that you will spend that I search now, like nowadays. So I don't know if it can have a variation of price during the month that you will come. So, but just to have an idea of this range of prices, it will be from $93 to $102 to go to Cusco, but it can increase the price or decrease, so don't worry about that. It depends on the month. From Cusco, you need to go to Ollantaytambo, and you will be there in 1 hour 13 minutes approximately. And you will take a bus that will cost you the $10 to $11. And from Ollantaytambo, you need to go to Aguascalientes, that is the village of Machu Picchu. And it will take you 2 hours, and you need to go in train. It will cost you, because you're not from Peru, $140. And from Aguascalientes to Machu Picchu, if you take a bus, it will cost you $24, and it will take you 13 minutes. But if you don't want to spend that amount of money, you can walk. But it will take you 2 hours to reach Machu Picchu. I've read about if you want to go walking, if there is a difference of walking and taking a bus. And they told us, well, I have read that people prefer to go on a bus because they want to reserve some energy for walking in Machu Picchu, because in Machu Picchu you need to walk. Not a lot, but you need to walk. If you, I don't know, have a health respiratory system, maybe you will be tired and you won't see and appreciate the sanctuary as it must to be appreciated. So I just put this like a summary of how much in total you will spend in there. to add in here that to enter to Machu Picchu, you will spend $47. So it will be a total of $313. But if you want to walk, it will be like $290 approximately. If you want to know more about Cusco, you need to come to Peru. And now I will talk about Puno. I don't want to bore you. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of Puno, the Lake Titicaca, the Uros Island, and the Taquil Island. If you want to go to Lake Titicaca, if you don't want to spend a lot of time by the bus, you can take a flight from Lima to Juliaca. It's Juliaca, not Juliana, I'm sorry, to Juliaca. And it will take you 1 hour, 13 minutes, and you will spend like $109. It was the cheapest flight I found. So, but it can, as I told you, it can increase or decrease. It depends of the time of the year. From Juliaca, you need to go on the bus to Puno, and it will you will spend $5 to $13, and it will take you 40 minutes. And from Puno to Lake Titicaca, it will be in a bus like $20. To be honest, I just put this this point in here, like this yellow point, because it can have a variation from here. Why? Because this amount of price that it's $20 is just for one day, and if you just want to go to Uros Island to see for one day, it can increase the price if you want more experience, like you want to sleep with the people in there like a day, you can do that. If you want to eat with them, it can have a variation. But if you just want the cheapest and just tell your friends that you just came to the highest navigable lake in the world, like it's Lake Titicaca, you will spend $20 in there. But if you want more, you can contract a tourist guide and tourist agency, and they will give you a package of what they can offer you. But it depends on that. So this is the cheapest, just to say the people that you came to Lake Titicaca. And that's all. I don't know if you have questions. No, okay, we can continue, I think.
I think that Tular has a question.
Yes, we have a question.
Hello, everyone. I wanted to ask a question about trip to the Nazca. How much does it cost, or is it possible to look to the Nazca on the helicopter?
Yes, there are. Well, we have like there are not helicopters. We have like planes that like an, I don't know how to say it in English, aerodromo, where the planes stands and wait like the airport, but it's not like for big planes. If you want to fly over the Nazca lines, you have that they are certificate for our culture ministry. So you need to go there. But if you don't want to spend that amount of money, because we know that not everyone can spend that just for seeing the Nazca lines, you can go to the tower that is near some geoglyphs. I think that 4 geoglyphs there have near that, and you will spend that less than $2. So you can tell your friends that you just see the Nazca line, so you don't worry about that.
Actually, well, to complement something that Maria has said, there's 2 reasons that why we didn't use helicopters in the Nazca lines. The first one is because it's prohibited from the Peruvian government. Also, the airspace is only reserved for these smaller planes that are over the Nazca lines. And the second one is kind of more a preservation thing. These lines have been made for our ancestors, Peruvian indigenous pre-cultures. So they are kind of really fragile. So to say it like that, and any powerful wind or any storm or any variation in the wind of the area can damage the Nazca lines. So the helicopters, well, as we can know, they have a mechanism when the landing and the departure, they move around a lot of wind, and this can damage the lines. Sadly, it's a smaller plane. It's avionet. I don't remember how to say it in English. Sorry, but that's the reason that we don't use helicopters in some places in Peru to preserve the integrity of our wonders, for to say it like that. Okay, I think we have another question from Mahmoud. The friends. Hi, guys. So if you want to just ask the question, you can
Mahmoud, you raise your hand. Do you have a question for us about the presentation?
What would you consider to be the most traditional food in Peru?
We will talk about that, so don't worry about it. We will tell you.
That's a tricky question, actually, but we are going to try to do our best, because here in Peru, food is what's kind of the emblem of the country. And actually, Elisa is going to talk now about it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Hi guys, I am Elisa Sarmiento. I deleo out of SOCEMURP. First, I'm going to explain some things about the products that we have in Peru that are originally from Peru. And then I'm going to explain the food, because we use this product to make the food. So if you don't know which is the product, you probably can understand about the food. So next, please. Okay. As Elisa mentioned, my friend Elisa, the other Elisa, we have in Peru different climates. This is because we have costa, sierra, and selva. And for that reason, we have different type of foods that are originally from different parts of our country. And this is because we have different climates. And these food that we have in Peru are very famous in all the world, because we export these to another countries like China, India, and other like this. And first, I'm going to explain about the fruits that we have here in Peru. We have fruits in the costa, in the Andes, and in the jungle. First is the aguaymanto. That is a fruit that originally the Incas eat in the past. And this is orange and have a sour flavor. And it's very famous because it's a superfood here in our country. Have a very high percentage of vitamin C and helps you with your immunology system. The other fruit is the Kamukamu. And Kamukamu is a fruit of the jungle, and it's very famous in the jungle because they eat this like a juice, and also like ice cream. These also have a very high percentage of vitamin C, and this also is exported to other countries because of the vitamin C that this fruit have. And the other fruit is the passion fruit. Here in Peru, we call maracuya. And this is yellow inside and outside. And we use this for prepare juice and also ice creams. And we put this also in some cakes because we really, really like the passion fruit. And the next that is beside of passion fruit is tumbo. This is like maracuya or passion fruit and a banana have a baby because these fruit have the shape of a banana, but inside is like a passion fruit, and also is sour. And this fruit is from the Andes. You could find this in Apurímac, Ayacucho, and also sometimes in Moquegua. And it's very famous there because it's very delicious. You can eat like a banana. You can try if you want when you come to Peru. And as I mentioned, these fruits are from different parts of Peru, but if you are in Lima or you are in another part of the country, you can find some of these fruits because we, in all our markets, we have these fruits because people that comes to the jungle sold these when they come to Lima. And also some people of the Andes comes to Lima to sell some fruits, and you can find it. Another that is very famous is the Leukuma, because this is also another fruit that the Incas ate in the past. And in the past, the people used the fruit and also the wood of the plant of the Leukuma. And this is important because some research mentioned that these fruit have 6,500 years before Christ. So it's very, very ancient. And this fruit is very delicious. You can try in ice cream. We also really, really like Leukuma and put this in some desserts. And finally, we have Sanki. Probably you know the dragon fruit that is pink outside. This is a fruit that comes from the Andes and is similar like the dragon fruit. Have inside some fruit that you can eat, and also these have a lot of percentage of vitamin C. And here in Peru, we are famous because we use the food to help with some diseases. So people that have some problems with the health probably eat these things because Sanki, aguaimanto, and also sometimes Kamukamu are famous in our culture for decrease the levels of sugar in blood. So people eat some of these foods to help with this problem. The next, please. Okay, we have here vegetables. Probably you could know the maca because we export maca to different countries, and it's very famous because it's a food that we can eat and have energized for that, and also help with the decrease the level of blood pressure. So people that have hypertension eat this because as I mentioned to you, in our culture, we eat a lot of food and different plants to help with some diseases. And the next starwi is like a bean, and we can cook and put in salads and also in soups. And sometimes in some cities like Chimbote, Trujillo, they eat this like a ceviche. So you don't put fish, you put tarwi, and add lemon and onion and some other things, and you can eat like a ceviche. Then we have a yuca that is similar like a potato, but here in Peru we use a lot of yuca because we use with some food I'm going to explain some of the dishes that we can use yuca for the dishes. And you can cook and eat with chicken, with beef, and all that you want. And also, in some parts of the Peru in the jungle, they use yuca to make drinks. I'm going to explain this next. And we have quinoa, that is very famous also because have a lot of vitamins and a lot of zinc also. And you can eat this to have a very good life because this quinoa also was ate, the Incas ate these things in the past. Another thing that I want to share, because also the Peruvian people didn't know this vegetable, is the cuchuro. And this is a seaweed that we have in the Andes. And it's very famous now because you can eat this and you can have a lot of vitamins, a lot of zinc in there, and also have these, the people have problems like anemia. And then finally we have muña, that is a plant that we use to make infusions. And we use this when you have like stomach pain, when you eat something that is is bad. Next, please. Okay. So here in Peru are some food, some products like our vegetables and fruits that is very, very important in our culture. One of these are the potatoes. Next, we have the chili, that we add this in all our food. And finally, we have the corn, that is very important also in our culture. First, the potatoes. We have 3,000 varieties of potatoes. And this is because you can find the potatoes, different types in different parts of Peru. The most of these are in Cusco, because there was the most ancient production of potato in our country. But you can find these types in different parts of Peru. As I mentioned, in the market, some people of the Andes comes to sell these products to the other people that it lives in the coast. So first we have black potato, and we use this black potato to make some cakes in some cases, in some cities like Arequipa. Then we have yellow potato, and we use this yellow potato to make causa, that I am going to explain you next. And we have guairo and native potato. The native potato is very famous here in our country because we export this to United States and to Europe, because it's the potato that have the most delicious flavor in our country. Next, please. Okay, as I mentioned, the chili is very important in our culture. We call here in Peru ají. And when you come here in Peru, if you go to a restaurant or if you eat ceviche, you probably have the ají in the dish. So you can ask before you eat the food, because if you are not accustomed to the chili, probably you can hurt and probably cry because it's very, very hot. So the first is yellow ají amarillo, that we call in Spanish. And we use this for a lot of dishes. For the ají de gallina, de causa, tallarines, spaghetti. Then we have ají limo. This ají limo we use for the ceviche. We cut in a slice or in small pieces and add to the ceviche because we like the spicy in the food. Also, we have ají charapita, that is from the jungle of Peru. And then in this place, they use this ají charapita to add spicy to the food. And also they have a variation of the ceviche that we have in the coast. And they also add this ají charapita because they also like the spicy. And finally, we have rocoto. Rocoto is used for prepare some sauces. And we add this to the food, and also with like sauce of rocoto that is very spicy with potato, because we really, really like spicy. Next, please. And finally, as I mentioned, another product that is very important in our culture since the Incas is the corn. We call here choclo in Spanish, and is this word, it comes to the Quechua, choclo. And as you can see the map of Peru, we have different types, and there are these types of corns are from different parts of our country. But the most important, and probably some people know, is the purple corn that we use to make mazamorra, that we use to make chicha morada. And also we put this in some snacks that you can find here in Peru, like fried potatoes with the flavor of purple corn, because we also love a lot of purple corn. And another type of corn that we have is the white corn that is very big. And we use this to make chicha de jora, that I'm going to explain how to make chicha de jora next. Well, when you come to Peru, you can find these types of corn. Some are from juices, some are from to add to different dishes. And all of these have a very, very nice taste. Next, please. Okay, so now we know the products that we use in our gastronomy and for the dishes. So now you can know these products. So I'm going to explain the dishes. Next, please. Okay. The first part is the dishes of the coast. Some important thing that we need to know is in the coast we use a lot of fish and some mussels to prepare some dishes like ceviche, tiradito, arroz con mariscos, a lot of these things, because we have a lot of types of dishes. As my friend Jose Andres Paul mentioned, the food in Peru is very important, because in different parts of our country, we have different traditional dishes, because the different climates, the different traditions, and also the products that grow in these parts of the Peru. So in the coast are more usually to have fish, mussels, and some potatoes, some things like that. For that reason, we have this type of dishes. The first is lomo saltado, that we eat like every day in our houses, and our mothers prepare this probably 1 or 2 times in the week. And this is beef fried with fried potatoes and also with rice, because here in Peru we add rice and potatoes to all the food. So if you can eat chicken with rice and potatoes, you eat beef with rice and potatoes, and all these things because we really like rice and potatoes. Then we have anticuchos that are made from the heart of the beef, and we fry this and also add chili, because as I mentioned, chili is very important in our culture. Then we have chicken with rice that here in Peru is called arroz con pollo. And this is prepared with cilantro, with corn, and also you can add chicken or you can add goat, because in some places they change the chicken for and put the corn, the goat. Then we have something that is very important here in Lima, the stuffed potato or papa rellena that we call in Spanish. And this is potato that inside have meat, eggs, and in some places they replace the meat for and put chicken. And also you can add chili, because it's like a tradition. You can eat this potato with chili and also with onions and lemon, and it's very delicious. You can find this dish in Lima in every place. Then we have cabrito, that is from goat, and we put this with rice and beans. And this is like a tradition in the north of our country, in Trujillo, Piura, Chimbote, because this is a dish that is that comes from to these places. You can find there. It's very delicious. If you like the goat, probably you can very enjoy this plate. And then we have causa. Causa is very important in Lima because we have the causa limeña. And it's made from potatoes, avocado. You can put also chicken or tuna, or in some cases that people is vegetarian, they put some carrots or corn inside of this potato. Next, please. Okay, then we have the dishes of the Andes. In the Andes, we have a lot of dishes that are made from potato also. And in some places, we have a fish that we call trucha, that is very important in these places. Is a dish that is, this preparation comes since the times of very, very old people that lives in Ayacucho, Huancayo, Puno, and these places. And also we have pachamanca, that is very, very important in our culture. All the people in Peru, once in their life, try pachamanca. And the pachamanca is, the preparation is very, very unusual. We make a hole in the floor, in the ground, and in this we put stones and wood, and we made fire in this, and then with these hot stones probably we cook the meat. We add meat like beef, pork, chicken, in some cases also the duck meat. And also we add some things like corn, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and some beans. And this preparation probably is for 40 and 80 minutes. And this dish is made in the ground, in a hole. So they put all this food in this hole, and they cover this hole with more stones, with more hot stones, and they wait for 40 and 90 minutes to get ready. And then you can eat. It's very delicious. It's very nice. So if you come to Peru, you can try this. Then we have humita and also tamales. We share this with Mexican culture because they have also tamales, but we have some difference in the preparation and also in the spices that we use because we don't have the same spices. Also, we have huatia, that is a dish from Ayacucho, and it's made from beef and a lot of spices, and the red chili that we used to cook that we call panca, ají panca, and we eat this with yuca also. As I mentioned to you, we use yuca also with different plates, different dishes. Then we have huancaína, that is very famous here in Lima, and it's potato, cooked potato with eggs, and also we put a sauce that is made from ají amarillo, yellow chili that I mentioned before. And then we have cancacho, that is a dish that is comes from Puno. I think probably some of you want to travel to Puno. We have cancacho that is very famous there, and it's meat of the mutton. Probably you know the mutton. And we use this mutton. The preparation is similar like pachamanca, but we replace the other meats for the mutton meat. And we also add potatoes because potatoes is very important. Next, please. And finally, we have the dishes of the jungle. It's important that you know in the jungle is very, very famous the bananas. For that reason, they put bananas in all their food. In the tacacho, we have small bowls made from banana. And also we have patarashka with patacones. That patacones are a slice of the banana that are fried. And they eat different type of fishes because they eat the fishes from the Amazonas, not from the coast of Peru. They eat the fishes from the Amazonas. And then we have juane, that is rice, is cooked rice, and inside they have chicken and also some spices that are famous in the jungle. Then we have purtumute, that we use the tarwi that I mentioned before with some beans, and we add onions and lemon, and you can eat like a salad. Then we have Ichikapi, that is a very ancient dish, because this dish was prepared the very old population of the jungle eat this Ichikapi, and it's famous because they eat in some festivals. And this is a chicken with sauce made from peanuts. And then we have Masato. As I mentioned to you, we use yuca, and we use yuca to make some juices. This juice is the Masato. You can try if you travel to Iquitos or probably to San Martin. That is a place here in Peru. And it's very delicious. This goes with milk, and you can try in some cases with a special alcohol that they use, if you want. Next, please. And I received some questions about how to make ceviche. So this is the video explaining how to make ceviche.
So first of all, you need a fresh fish, a good fish, white as this, not so fibrous. Is using charela. And charela is a kind of Peruvian fish. So we could use halibut or saltfish, tilapia as well. Red onion from Arequipa. We only use the outside, not the heart, not the heart. It's too bitter. That we are going to wash in fresh water. The chile, remember I showed you? Ají limo. Cilantro. Peruvian lime, Peruvian limon, we call Peruvian limon. When it's too green, it's too acidic. And when it's yellow, it's like bitter. So the idea is to have a bit of the average. First of all, is the salt and mix. After that, lime. Only one press, not many ones. Other ones you are going to get the bitter of the skin. Peel, no? You put a bit of garlic, like white pepper, and the ginger. It's a squeeze, no? You have to use.
Okay, as you can see, we are different products that I explained you before, and we add lemon and also the chili. That is very important. Another thing that is very important to know, that the ceviche, the price of the ceviche here in Peru, the most expensive is 33 soles, that is $10, but you can find more cheaper in different places. It depends of the place that you can choose to eat the ceviche, because we have ceviches that are more cheaper, probably cost $5 in some cases. So it depends where you can go. Next, please. And also I received another question about the picante de cuy. So this is a video. And in this video, we have a person that is preparing picante de cuy. We use the guinea pig, because here in Peru we eat the guinea pig. And we add some chili that we call ají panca, that is a chili that is red. Also, we eat this with potatoes, and in some cases with rice also. You can see the ají panca, that is the red chili that we use a lot of this to prepare the dishes, and also the boiled potatoes with rice. Next, please. Okay. This is the chicha de jora. We use the corn that I mentioned to you. And this is important because in some places they prepare this in some festivals, and the most important is the Inti Raymi. Next, please. And to finish my part, I'm going to display the museums. Next, please. Yeah. So you need to know that here in Lima, we have a lot of museums, and also in different parts of Peru, we have a lot. If you want to share in Google, you can find a lot of museums because we have different cultures and ancient cultures, and you can learn about this. But here in Lima, the most important is the Museum of the Nation, the Gold Museum, that you can find different jewelry that is made with gold, and also the Museum of the Convent of San Francisco. And you can learn a lot of our culture, that pre-Hispanic culture and the culture, the Hispanic culture. Then next, please, por favor. Thank you. And to finish my presentation, we have Pachacamac, that is a very big archaeological site where you can visit and learn a lot of the culture that is Pachacamac culture, that is previous the Inca culture, and you can learn a lot of the history, and also you can learn about the colors, the festivals that they made in the past. Next, please. And this is the Museum of Convent of San Francisco. This is in the center of Lima. You can visit when you come to Lima for the first time, and you can visit all the convent in 1 hour or 2 hours. Okay. This is the end, I think, of my part. This is a fun fact. Here in Peru, we have Peruvian dogs, that these dogs don't have hair. They are very precious. And it's a heritage of our culture that we have now, because these dogs was the animals that have the Incas. And they are very famous here in Peru because they help with some diseases. And also you can find these Peruvian dogs in different museums in the north of Peru because of the cultural heritage. Thank you.
Okay, next, please. Well, I know it's having a long session, guys. We're trying to make it like the most important parts that here we have in Peru. My name is Andres, and I'm going to talk quickly about some interesting facts about our country. First, starting with the culture in nature of what is the indigenous population that here in Peru we have. Here in Peru, we have 55 indigenous or native people who speak 48 indigenous or native, or native languages. I think there was a mistake there in the slide. What's the importance of this? As you have seen in the presentation, here in Peru, we have lots of dishes, we have lots of drinks, we have lots of dances and culture, and it's because of this, actually. All the mixture that Peru has, all the population that has been here before the conquer period that Peru has, and the independence period that Peru also had, all these people have made our country what it is. And also, what's the important part about this? As Elisa explained in the first part, I'm going to, wait a minute. Oh, I can, well. As Elisa explained, here in Peru, we have lots of regions. We have a region that is only the coast, which has some kind of climate, which has also its own plants, its own animals, also the Andes region and the Amazonic region. So these populations are different in many ways, like well, they are 55, but they don't have like most of things in common. They only have in common that they are here before the conquer period of Peru, and they have their own culture, their own traditions that have merged with the Spanish heritage that the conqueror has given to us. So that's what makes Peru the country that actually is. The next slide, please, Mariale. Also in Peru, when you come to here, you have to know that here in Peru we have some special protection groups that the government has established in the last approved laws. What are these special protection groups and why are important? For we have boys, girls, and adolescents, women, people living with HIV, AIDS, and tuberculosis. indigenous and Afro-Peruvian population, refugees, migrants and their families, people with disabilities, people affected by violence, older adults, and LGBTQ plus people. Why these are important in our country? Back. Why are these important in our country? Because these populations have been neglected or have been diminished in Peru for lots of years. So the reason that we are there considered and there are special laws to protect them is because we're trying to make a country with equity, a country where all the people can develop their life project with the same conditions. So that's here why in Peru, if you sometimes come to visit, you're going to address and you're going to see that there are a lot of laws and also a lot of programs in the country that tend to protect these people. So that's kind of a cool thing that recently Peru has. So the next slide, also the culture part is that here in Peru we use a lot of slangs, like lots. Peru is one of the South American countries that has more slangs, and also one slang has so many different meanings. For example, the first one, the yellow one that Elisa mentioned, the causa. Actually, in Peru, we use the word causa for a lot of things. The first one is like the original translation, because causa in English is like the cause, like this. So that's like the translation that every country has, causa, cause. But here in Peru, what's the meaning of the word? First of all, the dish, the potato dish that Elisa has showed you before, that also has quite an interesting history, because why's its name causa? In the emancipation and independent process that we had in Peru, the people that were fighting for a Peruvian freedom, they needed to eat, of course, and they needed the resources, and they don't have like a lot of resources. So what's the most abundant thing that we have here in Peru? Potatoes. As Elisa has shown you, we have like potato, wheat, potato, mostly everything. So they made a dish of potato with vegetables, and they say that was for the cause of independence of Peru, for the cause of the freedom. And the name kind of catch in the Peruvian population, and that's why the dish that was made for the cause was named at the end the causa, because it represents that kind of that part of a Peruvian history. But also, if you hear this word in Peru, it has a meaning of a friend. We call our friend causas. The meaning of the why of that, I actually don't know it. But for example, to refer to Elisa, to Elisas, to Carlos, to Mariali, they are my causas, they are my friends. So that's the other section that it also has. And you're going to hear it in the streets like a lot. The other one, that is aguja. Aguja, well, the translation in English is like needle, but here in Peru, we use it to say that someone does not has money. So when they say I'm aguja, it's not like I'm a needle. I'm not like kind of I have a needle in my neck. It's like I don't have money. I don't have money. So that's the meaning of aguja here. Asado, that's another slang. It's kind of for the normal understanding that it has, that is a type of beef. The asado is actually a type of beef, but here in Peru, it has a meaning. It's when somebody is really angry. So for example, if someone yells at you or if someone tries to bother you, you say, I'm asado, I'm angry at this. I'm going to kick the shit out of the person. I'm asado, I'm angry. So there are more slangs that to me, I also want to address the one that is in the inferior square, that is chela. I've read a response in the Google forum about someone that want to drink beers with Peruvians. Well, guys, I also want that too. And chela is how we commonly call the beers here. Here in Peru, we have lots of type of beers. I mean, this is a very festive country for us to say. And when we want to drink beers, we say we want chelas. We want the two chelas bien helenas, two really cold beers. That's how in Peru we actually talk chela. Another ones that are, for example, here, Ampai and Bacam, they are most used commonly, for example, Ampai, when someone like catches you doing a thing that you are not supposed to be doing. Like you, for example, are going in your clinical rotation if you come from SCOPE, but that day you escaped your rotation and went to one of the museums or one of the attractions that Elisa has showed to you. So you have been ampayado. You have been doing something that you did not have to do there. Bacán is something cool. It's something like we say that, oh, that's cool. That's fine. It's bacán. It's chévere. That's also another exception that the word can has. For the last one, there are more, but well, for reasons of time, I have to hurry a little bit. The brown one, that is the combi, is our mean of transport. And that's what we are going to talk next, how we are going to transport here in Peru. Mariale, the next slide, please. Okay, here in Peru, we have different types of transport, a part of the private transport that you can use. In Lima, mostly we have this kind of vehicles. First, we have these three that are called the coaster, the combis, and the bus. What are their differences? Well, first one, the size. The combi is like a minivan. It's a very small vehicle that is a public transport and only goes to the most rural places of the city. Goes to the most farthest places because, well, that's the disposition that they have. That's kind of one of the use they need. The cons are actually that if you're a tall person, it's going to be a very messy trip. Kind of, well, I'm 183 centimeters tall, and when I into a combi, like I have to go like this because it's kind of annoying. But it's one of the means of transport that we actually use more. The next one in size is the coaster. This is one of our, well, past emblems here in Peru. That was the Orion. The coaster are the most common means of transport here in Peru, more than the buses actually, because they tend to go from long distances, but also short distances, and their prices are a little bit lower than the buses. And well, the green one, the big one, is the bus per se. That's the way of transport that we actually use the most to go to farthest places, but farthest places that are in a route, like in a liner, for example, way. The transport here in Peru is relatively cheap if you compare it to another South American countries. I mean, at least the ones that I have been to and I have heard also too. These ones, their ticket fee, they do not exceed the dollar. There's $1 that you pay to do like all the way in the buses, but the normal fee is approximately I would say $35–40 cents. That's the fee that you usually pay here in Peru. There are another ones that are like the most governmental now, that are the corridors, that are like regulated buses here in Peru. They have their standard fee that is half of 50 cents of dollar, I think. They are less, for example, to say like that, less risky in some way because, well, actually ride one of these is like a extreme sport. You will see when you come to Peru. It's quite of interesting the riding in the buses. I recommend that you have the experience, but yes, it's kind of interesting if you ride one of them. The next slide, please. So we also have the known taxis here. The taxis are actually, again, for the South American average, are relatively cheap. If you want to use a taxi to go to a long distance, their fee is from $10 to $15 tops. And in other countries, that in South America, their fee are way higher, like $30–40. Here in Peru, the taxis are that's more private but public means of transport that we can use. But the average fee, if you want to go to a short distance, is like $3 to $5 tops. Another one are the Moto Taxis, that are motorcycles that have been adapted to do a taxi service. They are only for 2-3 people. You can find this more in the forest areas of Lima, of Peru, actually. You can find them, you can write one of them, and they tend to go only to specific places. They have their one small route, but only to go to some places that are difficult to access. For example, there are some places that are in tops of the Peruvian mountains of Lima, because Lima also have mountains, and you have to ride one of them because the taxi won't go there, and the bus less, because the bus can fall off, so only you have to ride a Moto Taxi. And there is a common misunderstanding that I don't know why people think, but here in Peru, we don't ride llamas or alpacas to go to our places of work. I say this because we have had incomings in the past that they, when they arrive to Peru, they say in the airport, hey, we want to see a llama. Can we ride a llama? And we're like, but we don't ride llamas. We only use them like they are like a Peruvian, part of Peruvian culture. Some places, some rural places in Peru, okay, actually use them as that, but in the cities, well, we don't ride them. Actually, we care for them. But if you come to our university, Universidad Ricardo Palma, we have our own mini llama zoo. So there you can see them. The next one, please, Mariale. And finally, for my part, I'm going to give you some basic tips to survive in Lima. The first one, that if you want to come to Lima and to Peru in general, first you have to speak Spanish, at least a bit, because if you come to, I don't know, to be with a friend, or for example, one of us, you tell, hey, Andres, hey, Elisa, I want to go to Peru. Can you be my host? Can you recommend me some places? Can you go on tour with me? Yes, of course. When we speak English, we can understand you, and we can actually, well, have a good time with you. But most of the population only speak Spanish here in Peru. So if you want to go to an adventure on your own, it's necessary, quite mandatory, that you speak at least a basic Spanish. So not unless you're going to be or lost, or unfortunately people, like sometimes bad people will take advantage of you. So yes, it's kind of necessary to speak the language here. Second of all, know your prices. Here we have told you that average prices of the food, of the drinks, of the travels, of the transport. So they won't try to see. I lost the word. How do you say estafar? Guys, help! I lost the word. Repeat it, please.
When estafar, bueno, estafa is scam.
Okay, thank you. So people don't scam you. You have to know the prices that we have here in Peru. If you come from SCOPE, from IFMSA, you can ask your host and contact about them. They will surely tell you how much is going to be the price that you have to pay for a thing, and also for the food and the drinks. There are places that have a very economic food. There are places that have overpriced food that is not as good as you can find in other places. So you have to kind of know where to go, and we will be gladly to help if you want also. Try to use slangs, but not that much. I mean, as I said, here in Peru, we use lots of slangs, but we are not like speaking it like 2 words per second. No, because if you use that much slangs here in Peru, it's also seen like too informal. So they try to learning to use them, to get used to it, but not to use them like in all your activities or what you're going to do. For the fourth point, well, not all Lima is the same. Here in Lima, we have a diversity of people. We have diversity of places. There are places that are, to say it like that, they have more resources. They are more developed than another ones. There are places that are more risky than other ones. So you have to know where to go and when to go, and also at what time. Because you have to take precautions, as always in any foreign country. 5, use the public transport properly. As I said, it's an extreme sport, but it's worth experience, and it's the easiest way to get to any part of the city. Lima is a pretty big city. So if you learn to use the public transport, you're going to be like in heaven, because it's the cheapest way, and it's the fastest way actually to go to some places. And you have to know when to use a taxi, when to use a combi, when to use a bus. And finally, guys, please be careful of where you eat and drink, because here in Peru we have a lot of foods, a lot of drinks, but there are places that or foods that are like too cheap, and sometimes you say, hey, this is really cheap, but the cheap stuff can give you like some gastrointestinal problems later. So you have to be careful where you buy a food or you drink a beverage. Because, well, here in Peru, some places don't have like the adequate sanitary conditions to to make them. But most of all, these are like the prime things that you have to know if to come into Lima. I mean, this I maybe have scared some of you. I don't know, but it's better to be prepared. As we said, it's good to know before than to make a thing after it has happened. So that's basically all my part. I was going to talk about something more, but well, as I said, for the time is going to be for another session. So the next slide, Mariale, for Carlos to continue.
Hey, hello. Okay, so I'll do this part too quickly. So first, when you come to Peru, you have to know where's the medical education in Peru, right? In Peru, we study 7 years medicine. In comparison with other countries, like you have to do a pre-med school. In Peru is not necessary. That means you can start your med school at the age of 16 or 17 years old. For example, in my situation, I started the medicine at 16 years old. So we divide those 7 years in 3 parts. The first one is basic classes, the clinical classes, and the internship. And then you, as a physician, you do the rural service. Okay, this is our medical education in Peru. So then you will know what about the Peruvian health system, because when you come to Peru, I hope you come to Peru, you will see the difference between too many hospitals, between the kind of management from the patients, could be the color of the hospital, the kind of insurance, etc. Okay, so next please. In Peru, we divide the health system in 2 principal orders, like for example the public and the private. Okay, in public services you will divide in MINSA, ESALUD, and the armed forces. Okay, each one has a specific population or a specific target population. MINSA, that is called the Ministry of Health or Ministerio de Salud in Spanish, is more focused on people who lives in poverty and extreme poverty. You can see, for example, hospitals in all the regions in Peru that MINSA has. Also, you can see the primary healthcare centers in small places in Peru. When you come to Peru, you will see that there are so many people who lives in small cities, in small villages, okay? Then you have ESALUD. ESALUD is work from the work ministry, Ministerio de Trabajo, and is for the workers from the companies. So that means if you work in a company and you have your insurance, you will assist or you will attend to the ESALUD hospitals. Okay, you will receive free assist. Okay, and then obviously you have the armed forces. In Peru will divide in 4 branches. The first one is the Navy, then you have the Army, the Air Force, and the National Police. So then those of their military people who can assist to this kind of hospitals, and they can go with their families. Okay, it's not only for military people, it's also for their families. And then you have the private clinics. Okay, the private clinics is the same in all around the world. If you have the money and if you have the opportunity to go to receive this kind of attention, to receive this kind of assist, you can go to the many clinics that we have in Peru. In Lima, for example, we have more than 20 clinics. Yeah, most of them are too expensive. Okay, next please. For Minsa, so if you want to come to Peru to go to a Minsa hospital to know the poverty lifestyle in Peru, you can choose so many hospitals: the Hospital María Auxiliadora, Hospital Hipólito Unanue, Hospital 2 de Mayo. You have so many other kinds of hospitals, Sergio Bernales. So the characteristics of this kind of hospitals, that is, you can see many infectious diseases, okay? Because from the other parts of Peru, most of them send the patients, the rarest patient, to the biggest hospitals in the capital, in this case, in Lima. So if you want to see that kind of cases, or if you want to know the reality of the most of the population in Peru, you can come to this kind of hospitals, right? Next, please. Then you have the hospitals from Salud. As I mentioned before, the Salud is for the workers that have an insurance. So you have many hospitals. For example, the first one is the Hospital Almenara. Then you have Hospital Rebagliati, Hospital de Emergencias Grau. You have so many hospitals. You can see many occupational diseases. You have many diseases from the people who are family from the workers, okay? The point of this kind of hospitals is very interesting, because the difference between Minsa and Salud hospitals, there are in Salud works with computers, and the clinical history, the receipts, all is works on computers, okay? This is the interesting point, okay? Then we have, please, next slide. Then we have the armed forces. As I mentioned before, in Peru, we divide in four branches. The first one is Hospital Central FAB, that is for airmen and their families. Then you have Hospital Militar Central, that is for soldiers from Peru. Then you have Hospital de la Marina, Hospital Naval, that is for sailors and their families. And you have Hospital Nacional PNP Luis N. Sáenz, that is located in Lima, Peru, and is for police officers, okay? You can go to also any of these hospitals. The difference between the others is in these hospitals, you necessarily need to go with white scrub, okay? Next, please. And the last but not least are the private sector of the health. You have the clinics in Lima, Peru. We have so many clinics. We have cheap clinics. We have expensive clinics. In this picture, you can see two of them. For example, Clínica San Borja and Clínica Good Hope are expensive clinics for people who can pay it. And the other one is the Clínica San Pablo. It's more for not richest people, but it's kind of medium. I don't know how to say this word in English. That is for people who don't have a lot of money, but don't have a few money, okay? So this is our health system. When you come to Peru, you can choose whatever you want. And if you have any question about how it works, please just type it. You can also say it, okay? Thank you.
Okay, guys, I think that we finished. I'm sorry, it was a huge presentation. I don't know if you have questions, you can ask them, or maybe if you want, you can contact us in our group that we have. or also in our social medias like Instagram or Facebook of our LC. If you have question about our country, culture, costumes, health system, etc. I don't know. Okay, hi Turar, where we can apply or contact for a sprint in cause of accessibility, the cost of PCR test for coronavirus and metastasis escape. Well, you can, here in Peru, there are a lot of pharmacies, so you can, here, all the all the drugs are, everyone can buy them, so don't worry about that. You can